Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to show you how to incorporate things that don't seem to go together at first glance. This is for a wedding. We were asked to include colors and themes into one cake that you wouldn't traditionally think would go. But this is how I got it to all work together, and you just have to trust the process. But I'm going to show you first how to prepare the cake. I'm going to show you how I'm leveling and filling and crumb coating the bottom layer. This is our chocolate buttermilk cake. I just level off those tops with a serrated knife or a bread knife, and then I filled them, or I sprinkled simple syrup on them, which is just 1-to-1 granulated sugar and water. Heat them until the sugar is dissolved in the water, and then let it cool. And that keeps your cake from getting dry while you're working on it, because according to popular belief, we bake the cake the day before the event and then do everything else to it that day. No, it's not how it works. We have to bake a couple days before, and then just to ensure that nothing is dry, and we've never heard that they are, and not worried about it, but it is common practice to use the simple syrup to ensure that. And I use just my regular buttercream, a thickened buttercream that is, to dam the cake before I did the filling. Then I popped it in the freezer for 10 minutes until it was firm and dry to the touch. And now I am doing the final layer of buttercream. And this is an ombre effect that we're going for here. Now, they wanted the colors they wanted because the team that the now husband likes, their color is that burnt orange color. Well, she likes blush pink. So we had to incorporate the two. We're starting with the ombre on the bottom, the two different shades of that orange. And I got the second color by mixing a little bit of white in with the original deeper color. And this is how I like to merge my colors together. I just use my spatula in a zigzag pattern up and down and just incorporate those colors together a little bit to try to prevent those lines from happening. Now, there still is a little bit, but I went back in and just used your leftover color. It doesn't matter if they are mixed together a little bit. And it looks like I'm putting them in the wrong places, like the light on top of the dark. But really, honestly, once you do your scraping with your scraper, it gives it that uninterrupted ombre look. Now, I set that in the refrigerator until I was ready to do the next step. But the top tier, we're just doing a light blush. I used Color Mill blush, and I added a little ivory to it just to mute it down even a little bit more. And now, the middle tier, I'm doing an acetate transfer with the marbling technique. Now, these are all the tools that I use. Those are the three colors I'm going to use to marble. I have my skewers to add some more veining, our acetate sheet, and a scraper. Now, I like to apply, these are the colors I use, because copper was kind of a key color on how I got that burnt orange color. You dip your skewer in the color and just kind of make lines and twirl the skewer as you go to get those veins. You can do as many or as few as you want. And I do have my acetate sheet so that it would roll up towards itself in the middle, because that mimics the shape of a cake better, so it's easier to wrap your acetate sheet around it if it's already kind of curved in that way. But I have the ends secured down to the table so that they don't roll up on me while I'm applying it. See, right there, you can see my scissors fell off, and it wanted to roll up. Once you get your buttercream on there, it's not going to do that. And to do the marbling, I just use a little bit of each color. I wanted to have more white than anything. Just kind of mix them together a little bit. Don't overdo it. And then I'm just strategically placing it on top of where I have those veins. So it looks kind of funny at this point. But once you fill in with your white on top of that, this is the back side here, then it all makes sense, because like I said, we wanted more white than the other colors, and there's a little blush in there also. So we're mixing the two colors together. The bottom tier was mainly orange. The middle tier has blush and orange in it, and the top tier is blush. So that's kind of how I'm neutralizing and bringing those two opposite color schemes together. And this cake was in the freezer firming up so that when I apply the wrap, it is nice and firm. I did just a very thin coat of buttercream on top of it just to give the wrap something to stick to, just to make sure that it doesn't peel off. And I'm just using my fondant smoother to smooth out that buttercream. Now, if you have any lumpy parts in that buttercream, go ahead and smooth it out. You can smooth it out with the smoother. And put that in the freezer to firm up for 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes before I remove the wrap. And here I'm just getting that sharp corner on the top. I had went ahead and put it in the freezer. Actually, I did put it in the freezer, and so that it would firm up. And then I used my straight edge to cut off that lip off the top. And there was a piece. This is obviously foam. This is not cake, but this is our separator. It's just a decorative piece. They did not need that much cake, but they liked this look. So here's a good place to substitute for cake is when you have a separator. And I just put some shortening on it, and I just draped my fondant over it, and I'm smoothing it down. And I will cut off the excess. I'm just using my smoother to push against the board just to secure it to the sides, and cutting off that little bit of extra there. Put a board on there, flipped it over, and I needed to put a board underneath the foam just so that the foam is not in contact with the cake below it. So I just cut a board down, and I'm just securing it on the bottom with some hot glue. It's fine. It's not cake, so the hot glue is not going to affect anybody. And then just use your straight blade. You can use a sharp knife if you want to, something thin to cut off the excess again, and just make sure that that fondant is stuck to the side of the cake or the foam and that you can't see that board. Now I'm creating sharp corners by pressing the two smoothers together on those corners. You just kind of tap them together. And then I'm using some luster dust, gold luster dust, mixed with some Everclear, nice and thin because we're using the airbrush. And I'll try to remember to add a link to this airbrush. I do have a discount code on that airbrush. I believe it's still going. It might have been a temporary discount, but I'll at least give you a link to where you can get that cordless airbrush. I love it. And to set that aside and let it dry. And in the meantime, we can remove our acetate sheet. Isn't that pretty? I really like that color for a fall wedding. I think that's really pretty. And then I just cut off the excess off of the top again and smooth down where the pieces met in the back. You can just kind of scrape away the excess. If you have where the two pieces meet, if there's a lump, you can just scrape it down with your scraper. Now I'm going to do a little trick here. This is how I'm going to make this gold here. This is for a stencil that they wanted to incorporate and the piping on the top. So it's just luster dust, vodka, and Everclear. And there's not really good measurements. You just kind of eyeball it, but I'll try to give you a guideline in the description on measurements. And that tool that I'm using to mark my drop lines, I don't know that you can find it anymore, but there are other tools that can be used that you can find on Amazon to create the same thing. I don't know why I put that in there and then I went back to this, but that's okay. We can jump around. We'll figure it out. And then this is where I'm just using the stencils and that gold formula. Instead of doing buttercream and then painting over it or airbrushing on top of it, since I don't want to get overspray of airbrush, I just thought I'd try this. And honestly, it worked great. Now we're going to fill our bag for our piping. I wanted the piping to come out mostly gold, knowing that I'm going to have to probably go back and touch it up. But it saves me a few steps. So I lined the bag with the gold, and then I filled in the middle with buttercream. And you can see as I'm piping it here, and not real well. I am not real good at piping, I admit it, but I know how to fix it. That's the key. I do know how to go back and fix it. So yeah, using the piping bag that way really saved some trouble. That and having the the drape outline, all of that. Take your shortcuts if you have them. And I let that chill in the refrigerator so that I could manipulate it and move those buttercream lines around a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm stacking the top or the middle cake on top of the bottom. And there are skewers the same height as the cake. In between each, I even put skewers in the middle tier because it needed to support the weight of the foam, which is not a lot, but then the top tier. And then I put a skewer all the way down, a sharpened skewer all the way down through that whole thing. And now I'm just finishing up the piping. Now, like I said, I know it's not perfect, but I will fix that. And then we're going to add some veins, some gold veins into our marbling. This is another way that we're combining all the colors together. The gold and then is incorporated in each tier. I'm just going back over my piping and adding some gold to them just to make it nice and shiny and bright. And the way that I fix my lines is I use a dampened brush just with water. And once it has crusted over a little bit, you can maneuver them around a little bit, but the timing has to be perfect. It can't be crusted all the way through. I would say a good 10 minutes in the refrigerator and then bring it out. Don't leave it much longer than that, because you could even leave it at room temperature to crust over at room temperature, but you know, timing, I just went ahead, excuse me, I went ahead and put it in the fridge. And then I lifted it up with the 2 skewers because my top tier was not quite dry enough for me to pick up with my hands. So I put 2 skewers in it and lifted it up that way. And now I'm just pounding those skewers in and down through that entire cake and into the foam to secure that cake on top. Since I didn't want to try to drive a sharpened, bigger dowel through the top tier of the foam and the bottom 2 tiers, because that foam can kind of mess things up. It can kind of make your tiers separate a little bit as you are pounding it in. So just to avoid that, I just kind of did my skewers just a little differently. And then I just wrapped some gold ribbon around the bottom. So hopefully you guys, you get the image here of how to combine colors and schemes that don't traditionally go together into a cohesive cake. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my video. And if you'd like to watch some other videos, go ahead and click on the link to one of these other videos shown here. And if you would like to check out my other social media, I am on Facebook and Instagram under the same name, Sophisticakes by Mary. And please take the time to share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload another video. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next tutorial.